Welcome back to News 12 The Bronx, where local matters. A newly created office at City Hall is making sure that all New Yorkers are ready and safe when severe weather hits.
Yeah, it gives a new focus to work that's been happening since the lessons learned from Superstorm Sandy.
And as we approach 10 years since Sandy slammed into New York City, I sat down with the executive director to see how prepared the city is if it were to happen now.
These scenes of a city submerged are what come to mind when Kizzy Charles Guzman reflects on Superstorm Sandy 10 years later. What was revealed in the rubble guides the work she's been doing since.
We are already losing if we think that we're just preparing for the next Sandy. We need to really look at all of the climate hazards that affect New York City.
In Sandy's aftermath, she was on the ground, helping thousands in the hardest hit coastal communities navigate extensive outages and emergency funding.
We really saw those disparities in terms of access and ability to access the resources.
Now, as the head of the newly formed Mayor's Office of Climate and Environmental Justice, she's leading the charge to make sure all neighborhoods are equally prepared and protected with a multi-layered approach. One part, building a more resilient city, investing billions in overhauling infrastructure, from improving catch basins to massive flood walls expected in Red Hook and Lower Manhattan. Another project, the new Ruth Bader Ginsburg Hospital in Coney Island.
And that is an incredible achievement, right? Because it's a hospital that is set to reopen and is first of its class in terms of its resiliency and being able to maintain continuity of operations during a significant storm.
Storms not the only threat, but extreme heat, power failures, and air pollution too. So sustainability is also top of mind.
We've also done things like updating our zoning codes, our building codes, planting trees citywide, deploying green infrastructure and bioswales to help us with just street flooding.
Just as important, she says, is educating New Yorkers about resources like flood insurance, because a decade later, Charles Guzman says housing remains a major vulnerability in the city should a storm like Sandy or worse strike now.
When we think about protecting New Yorkers and are we safer? Yes, because we're trying as hard as we can to make them resilient inside their homes.
And looking to the future, Charles Guzman tells me that part of being prepared means being ready for more extreme events all around. And while that might sound dire, she says knowing that and having that awareness is the first line of defense.